August, 2000 days of meditation. As you can see, I'm perfectly calm, relaxed and easygoing. Well, my view on meditation is that it allows you to see yourself more clearly and accept yourself. Not only your goal isn't to get to a Zen state of calmness, but precisely the opposite. The goal is to be angrier when you are angry and more relaxed when you're relaxed, but always with a sense of impermanence. They're just feelings, they come, they go. They're sometimes useful, but more often than not, they're just hormones. So somehow I got a drone, and you can see here my first drone shot. I'm not sure if this was legal. It so seems that everything I do violates somebody's property in the US, so I made this flight pretty short. My NAS daily course finished, and I published my first next-gen video on the channel you're watching right now. It's so cool, but not cool at the same time. More on that in November. Then we went on a beautiful trip to Provincetown and Martha's Vineyard. 5 days, many miles, and many more drone shots. Definitely legal in this case. Except for Provincetown, where someone later told us that they had a limit of 2 licenses that you had to buy in advance or something like that. What the hell? I also crashed the drone. The first crash, but not the last. More certifications, of course. I even created some cool systems to remember formulas. What a good student I am. Overall, I got 8 certifications at this point. That was enough. Another hobby that I started and then I've got enough. With 6 months delay, after 18 months, like clockwork, I let my old management go and joined another team. I got back to engineering to help implement what I designed as an architect. That's how passionate I am about the product I'm working on right now. Titles are cool and positions are cool and perks, but as I said in February, I want to make a difference. And I want to see that product grow. The faster the better, of course. I want this story and the clock is ticking. Oh, look at this, a gimbal, Ronin S, more hardware. We're into video hardware now, oh my god. One of the ideas that makes US strong is the idea of strong property laws and enforcement. Now this is quite fun for a European. In Europe somehow we know what is whose, and we kind of know what is okay and what isn't. In the US, something very weird is going on. Everything is someone's property, and you aren't allowed to do anything unless you pay someone. Phrased like that, it seems to make sense, while very often it doesn't make any sense. In May, for example, I was hiking in Catterskill Falls. I was so surprised to see labels on the trees. They were saying that someone owns the forest and you shouldn't trespass. No fence, next to public road. What was the property? 1 meter around the tree? The whole forest? Who owns the forest? And who did they buy it from? It turns out there are some answers to those questions, but they're both weird and boring. Then we come to the drones. Hey, I have a tiny drone. I understand that I shouldn't fly it near an aeroplane. I also understand that some people might have some privacy concerns. The US law allows photography everywhere except from places with reasonable expectation of privacy. That's inside your apartment, in rooms with no windows. So what's the deal for whoever, like a county, having laws that prevent me from flying my drone? It doesn't make sense. Is air somebody's property? I guess it is. In September, I was on the rooftop of a hotel I was staying at, and they tell me I shouldn't take photos unless I get a video release form. The guy who said that was a security bully who couldn't explain it, of course. Then I went to the management. They didn't know either. They have their marketing team. That is a guy who never replied to my emails. So I will never learn the basis on which the security bully told me that I don't have the right to take photos. After 3 years in the US, I feel that everything is someone's property. I instinctively feel unwelcome everywhere I am. In a restaurant, they expect me to pay and leave. Eating is optional. Whenever I do something, I always look around for a kiosk where I should pay. At any given moment, you're either paying rent or trespassing. But it's all weird because the people who know more about why you are not allowed to do something are not available. So it makes me feel that companies and individuals arbitrarily claim ownership of stuff. They hire bullies in suits to repeat statements. Then they disappear. People who don't know their rights and they can't be bothered obey. At some point, the whole thing either becomes ridiculous or the security bully bullies a billionaire and there is a lawsuit. At that point, it gets proven that it wasn't their property, but they were merely managing it. They might not even know who owns it, they just saw it first. They were concerned that individuals would get hurt or something, and they wouldn't like to be liable. That's why they hired the bully to protect you from you. Sometimes the stories get as ridiculous as this. I don't know, I seriously don't. But there's something very dodgy about the property laws and the bullies and insurances, licenses and accredited investor programs. And all the other measures that are there to protect you, but somehow always seem to benefit someone else. I commit to learning more. I want to understand this mess. Everything is someone's property. You likely can't afford to buy it. If you want to own property, then the only solution is to create it. Earth is taken, the fight for space is on and even more expensive. The only place where there might still be some space is in cyberspace. Don't get me wrong, most of the internet is taken, Google, Amazon and Facebook, and they're working hard with their lawyers to make sure that they own every corner of it. There will be years like 2020 that the Zoom-time companies will help with the crisis. There will be companies like Uber and Airbnb that exploit legal loopholes. The online currency space is also not yet taken and Bitcoin goes up. Certainly hard, but still easier to create valuable properties in cyberspace than the physical world. And that was August. Meditation, new team, and everything is someone's property. Thanks for watching.